Okay, this is April 20th, 2021 here in Kitchener, Ontario, Zone 5, and I'm here with a patio garden update. Just looking at some of my container plants here. We've seen all these in previous updates. We're starting to get results on these netted troughs, I'm calling them. I've seeded them with here turnips, and there's some kohlrabi, there's some chard, there's some beets. I've set up these little offsets to prevent the seedlings from growing through the net and getting caught when the net is laying low. So that's enough room now for them to get large and push the net up as we go. And I keep noticing, I come out here and I'm out here for a little while, and then suddenly a rabbit takes off. He was sitting here quiet. It keeps happening every day. I come out and I'm out here for a minute, and then bam, this rabbit finally gets spooked by me, and he runs off. So he's in here and he's nibbling on things. So I think this netting is really helping. We've got cold weather coming. I think we're down to -3 in the next couple days, and so most of these plants I think can take it. I don't have anything out here that's too crazy. I'm a little worried about my containers. Here we can see I've got lots of hostas starting to come up. I've got a few of these containers, these ceramic containers here that I overwinter that are full of a tiny, it's called Golden Tiara hosta, I think. It's a nice, beautiful little hosta, and I've got 1, 2, 3 of these containers now, and I think I need to divide these because eventually they're gonna shatter the container. So they've been in this setup for, I don't know, a couple years now, and I've got tons of crowns in here that I could divide out and fill a few more of these ceramic containers, which they seem to overwinter well. They're not destroyed by the weather, by the freezing temperatures, at least if I leave them in the shed. So that's a good setup. Small hostas in a clay container where you can put it in a sheltered, frozen shed. That works. So anyway, I'm not going to go into detail on all these. I've been taking, every once in a while, a bit of a harvest from these are my second year now, kales, and they'll start flowering eventually, but I'm able to get greens from them now. I'm not too worried about about the cold weather, but the containers, I don't know, I don't want to lose my containers. You know, these are fragile and they really don't hold up in the cold. But I also don't want to truck them. You know, there's a lot of stuff here now, and it's a lot of work to move this stuff back and forth, so I might just risk it. I might just throw a tarp over it. Here you can see I'm doing these offsets again to just prevent my seedlings from growing through the mesh. I've got tatsoi, rutabaga, maybe some rapini, some bok choy in here. Here I've got more, this is a temporary setup because I want to use these containers eventually for eggplants, but I got a ton of, these are hostas that I've rescued from the boulevard. They're doing construction work out on the boulevard, and I collected a whole bunch of these. I've talked about that in previous videos. And so they're coming up now, and they're going to be monsters, and I don't know what to do with them. I've got some space in the yard here that I can park stuff. So coming around here, I've got, I was overzealous, and I took the covering. The weather's been so nice. I took the covering right off these and folded it up and put it away. I only left the covering on this one. Now we're heading into freezing, and if we open this up, I've got some of my more sensitive things here. So these are all my grow room brassicas. They're looking really nice. They've been loving the beautiful weather, and I think they will not like being zapped by a freeze. And these are really well along in their own little containers, and that's worth noting because I had transplanted some into the ground, and they're not doing anywhere near as well as the containerized ones. So that's interesting. What's so bad about my ground? This should be really good stuff here. I've got these overwintered chard plants here, and they've been protected. I've had them protected under the net over there so that the rabbit can't get at them, because this one you can see has been chewed way down. That happened a couple of weeks ago, and this is the recovery so far. And these have just kept coming constantly under attack, and you can see these little shoots are small enough to actually get through that mesh a little bit, and I think the rabbit's been coming in and just chewing what he can get. So up here they're a little safer. I've got my containerized artichokes in here where I think they'll be, I don't know if -3 is going to kill off my nice artichokes, but the cold is good for them. So a winter that they can take is good for them. But I don't know if -3 is such a winter. Anyway, I've got things tucked under here that I think are my most sensitive plants. But I have new stuff coming up here, new seedlings that's been really warm. So they don't know the cold is coming. And again, here we got these brassicas that are part of the same group as we just looked at there in the containers, and these ones are really small. So some of these went in the ground and they kind of just stopped, and the ones that stayed in the containers kept getting bigger and more beautiful. Lots of stuff coming up in here. I've got my arugula coming up. I've got radishes coming up. Some of this stuff I'm not worried at all about the cold, but I don't know, maybe I should try and maybe I'll get my plastic out of storage and just cover this again. I do have artichokes in here, and I guess I could cover them with a cloche maybe if I just want to be if I want to avoid getting the tarp out. But I think the best move probably is just to get the tarp out and use it for what it's for. I got this set up, so I should use it for what it's for. There were some calabrese in here, and they were not looking good when I put them in, and they I think have just given up. So I'll replace them. I've got more. Looking through here, more radishes, and tons of garlic mustard here that I can harvest. And I think, see there, that's a beautiful, right there. I'm just going to harvest that right now. That's perfect. That's like the flower head there. Oh man, beautiful. So yeah, I got a lot of big harvest out here that I can take. And coming around, I was doing some cleanup work here. I got all the mulch and stuff off it. I've got to redo this area. It's kind of gotten out of its design goal. It's supposed to be this is a 4-foot wide bed. It's supposed to be 2 feet at the back of low maintenance stuff, perennial stuff, and then 2 feet at the front that I can do annual fiddling with. But that's not really, the setup hasn't really worked for me the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to try and redo this and do something a little better here. I made some videos on this project of getting these pavers in, and that's good. I still haven't gotten around to filling in, not even the fringe there, but I decided with all the road work going on outside, pretty soon I'm not going to be able to get my car. I won't want to be carrying heavy weight in my car, and it's just about the weight limit of my car to get 24 square feet of this stuff, which I've done. So I made one trip. I got a whole bunch of new stones here, a whole bunch more over here. So I'm just going for it. I'm going to get the material to completely do, extend the path all the way out here and through there. So I got to make one more trip, and I got to do it before they tear up the road, and then I'll just do this all properly. I've got this spare bed over here, and I can move some stuff in here, and I'll, gradually I'm kind of working on this space. But as I'm looking through here, there's just so many chores that I gotta get taken care of, including trimming these buckthorns. So I've been sort of pollarding them, but they need to come down much lower, sort of almost to fence level, and then all the top growth will fill in for privacy. But I really need to get these stumps cut down almost to fence level, and these ones I haven't even touched at all. They're very tall, so it doesn't look like a lot of material from the ground, but once you start getting into it, it just fills up. Like this whole space will be filled with these stupid buckthorn branches. But if I don't do it now, the problem's 3 times as bad next year. So lots of spring chores out here, and I guess I should get to it rather than making videos. So I'll see you in the next one.